doing a little tine weeding today, but I wanted to make a quick little video here because I wanted to share a few things, and I was hoping that there's some people that had things to share as well about tine weeding, some little tricks and whatever, the trade, but I just wanted to talk about what we were doing here. I'm just changing my settings. It was nice over that part of the field, but now we're getting into a softer part of the field, and as you can see, it's tearing out too much of the crop. Well, it's not really tearing it out, it's just burying it. So we're starting to bury some wheat, as you can see, which I don't know if we'll get away with that. Probably not, because the wheat's too small, I think, yet. So a couple things we found with tine weeding. The first thing is seeding depth. When you seed your crop, you want to keep a consistent depth, and you want to try to keep your depth beyond 1.5 inches. I'd say 1.5 inches to 2 inches would be ideal. That's one thing we've learned. If you don't do that, if your seed depth is uneven, then the tine weeder will rip out the shallow seeded plants. And so we found that you have to put all your seeds down nice and deep. So that's one thing we really worked on. And the other thing we've been working on, if you can look on a side view here, is making sure once you're done, before the crop's up, you want the ground to be level. So if your drill makes ridges, then you're gonna wanna, we did a blind harrow pass, and our drill leaves it fairly level anyway, but we do a blind harrow pass, so then the blind harrowing just levels everything off, and it gets those weed seeds that have come into the white thread stage, to kills them off, so you get a clean start to your crop. But the leveling is just as important for the stage later on. So now you can see what I mean. Once you get in here, it's more consistent across the crop once you've leveled it, eh? So that's much better. The other thing I want to show you is a few wild oats here, and just in case you're wondering, tine weeders don't take care of wild oats. So you can see that here, there's some right in here. So we definitely got some wild oats coming along. Not too terrible. This is kind of a worser patch of the field, but I wanted to show you that. And then another thing we've learned is trash. So as you can see in here, there's a bit of trash built up in the tine. So that's actually a bit of soybean trash from last year. So keep that in mind too if you're planning on tine weeding, that you need to have a field with all the trash buried. I thought I'd done a pretty good job, but apparently not, because we're having some stuff build up under there. Another thing I want to point out, our center wheels and our end wheels are set at different depths. And I don't know if anybody else has this happening for them, but you can see the center wheels here, there's 6 holes showing on top. And then the outer wheels on the wings, we've only got 3.5. So that seems to be how we have to set it to get even depth here, or even working depth, I guess, across the machine. And then right now we're on a pretty gentle setting, I guess you'd say. So it's not set on aggressive. You can see the pin here, which sets the tine. So the further it comes, the further this piece comes back, the more upright your tines are, and then that's more aggressive. So we've found with these tines, these are actually the shorter tines. We kind of screwed up when we ordered this machine. We got the shorter tines by accident. So they're heavier, like, because they're shorter, they obviously don't give as much as the longer tines. So we find we have to set this one pretty unaggressive. But yeah, that's kind of really what I wanted to show you, was what was going on here. But if anybody else has any info on what they're doing, what they found's worked, staging of crops, stuff like that, that would be much appreciated. I guess before I do that, I should show you some weeds, to show you some before and after kind of deal here, so you can see what we're actually taking out for weeds. I'll come over here, there wasn't too much in front of the tractor there. So here you can see we have some mustard, we have some, there is a bunch of wild millet here. That's a millet right there. And then on the tine weeded side, so we have That's some millet there, some mustard. There's lots of white shoots here, so we got some mustard, some millet there. So the main reason, and I'm almost going too early. I don't really like, I think this stage is too early. I don't know what anybody else's opinion is, but we're only like 2 to 3 leaf here. But the reason we're going early is because we have 10 days of wet weather forecast. We're looking at having 3 to 4 inches in the next 10 days. So I wanted to take care of these weeds now before they're too big. So yeah, so I was wondering if you guys have any other info, that would be much appreciated. With a nice evening here in southern Manitoba.